Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another session here at Crypto Miners. And on this session, we will be having a chat with Say Network. Pretty sure a lot of you would have heard about it by now. But for those of you who still don't know about Say Network, make sure to stay till the end of the session, and then any well I'm pretty sure we'll be addressing a lot of things, concerning the network and the entire project. So we have Mr. Philip, and he's in charge of growth and marketing, and he's going to be the one representing the team and chatting with us. So welcome, Mr. Philip.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. So how are you doing? Let's start with that.
I'm doing great. It's been super busy last few weeks. Having launched the mainnet beta last week, so a lot of exciting things happening within the ecosystem, really across like all of our different ecosystems, including DeFi, NFTs, and gaming. Working on a lot of exciting initiatives as well in terms of supporting and empowering our community members and our developers, really across the board. The teams have been really heads down, and it's been exciting to see a lot of, the initiatives that all of our different ecosystems have been working on to come to life.
Amazing. I think let me start off with this question. Overall, as a member of the team, yes, and how do you feel about having achieved this milestone? I call it a milestone because a lot of projects that are wanting to build a network, a blockchain, a layer one blockchain for that matter, and somehow, some of them never make it to the testnet stage, not to talk more of the main stage. So how do you feel about having gotten to this point in the project?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, like a lot of hard work has been put in to get us to this moment. So definitely felt a lot of pride across the Say Labs team and also across our ecosystem. Just thinking about all of the dedication, time, blood, sweat, and tears that have been put in to getting us to this point today. Mainnet launch went really smoothly in terms of network stability, bridge volume, bridge activity. We've seen a lot of people like celebrating the launch, so it's something that's definitely like something to be proud about. But with that being said, I think there's still a lot of work. So this is really just the beginning for like the Say Labs team and the entire Say ecosystem, and also feeling very excited for what's to come.
Okay, amazing. Now, my questions, I just wanted to ask, considering that you're in charge of marketing and growth, I was wondering if my questions, I don't know, if they might be maybe technical, and then and you're not in charge of the technical aspect. So I was wondering if maybe my questions could be rephrased, from the perspective of maybe user experience. For instance, if we talk about interoperability, instead of me just asking how you're able to achieve that, I could ask how you have been doing so far, especially since you launched the mainnet, based off of feedback from maybe developers and user experience so far. So, what do you think about this approach? I just wanted to ask so that it would be a very interesting session for both of us.
Oh, sorry, I was muted the air. Yeah, that sounds great. Happy to answer really any questions on the ecosystem around some of the growth initiatives that we have. Whatever you think is best, whatever you think I can provide the most insights on.
Okay, beautiful. Um, I think let us begin. Let's see. Okay, let's begin with the community, right? Now, you have told us how you feel, being a part of the team and having achieved such a milestone. But when you look at your community, what is should I say, what is the mood? Yes, what is the mood so far for the community? Especially since you have launched the mainnet, because your community has been there with you from the start through, most of the journey. So how do you think your community feels about what you have achieved so far?
Yeah, when you're working on an L1, you get to a point where the community is so large. So sometimes I like to like break down the community into like different segments of like first like our like sailor OGs. Like I see Bojack in the audience, who's like a great kind of like representative of this kind of sector of our community that's like so actively involved, showing up every day, has been a part of our community for like months and almost years now, probably. You know, this group has like continued to put in so much work. So I think they almost share like a similar like pride and dedication that like the Say Labs team shares. And then like moving on to another sector where it's like community members that have been here for a long time, maybe participating in the ambassador program. I think you also see there like a longer term commitment. And I think the last group's like the newcomers. Like across the board, we do see like a level of dedication to say. I think it changes in terms of like magnitude. But we're still at the early stages of a lot of our community initiatives, a lot of our ecosystem initiatives, and like one of the core focuses of the Say Labs team is to ensure that we're like really gathering as much feedback as possible, trying to listen to those community members that are truly dedicated to helping Say grow and the long term success of Say. So like those that really care about our community, that really care about our ecosystem projects, those are the ones that we really lean into, and we're really actively trying to recognize them, celebrate them, incentivize them to continue to do a lot of the great things that they do to help build our community together. So like with all crypto communities, layer ones with recent airdrops, we do have our ups, we have our downs. But from those community members that are here for the long run and are truly dedicated to see the success of Say, it's been nothing but like a lot of pride and like continued excitement and dedication for what's to come.
Okay, amazing. I like that. All right. Now, speaking of the community, now I am interested and excited to get into some of the growth strategies and initiatives that you have, but just a little more on the community. Can you maybe elaborate or enlighten us on the governance model of Say, right? And especially how your community is able to participate or how they are encouraged um, to make decisions for the network.
Yeah, so like a lot of our community lives on Discord and within our ambassador program. So it's truly about kind of like the way that we've structured our community framework. It's one that those that have been in our community and in our ecosystem for a longer amount of time and have been contributing to the overall success of the community almost rank up in like a tiered ambassador program type of manner. And we also span across just ambassadors like KOLs, founders. Like we've kind of thought about all the different stakeholders within the Say ecosystem and the Say community, actively trying to be like active partners with all of them, ensuring that all of their voices are being heard, and those that are truly contributing like helpful advice and constructive feedback, those are the ones that we're listening to. We're actively setting up group chats, one-on-one conversations, thinking about how we can further incorporate their feedback into our growth and community plans, while also thinking about like how can I contribute to like Bojack's personal progression, and thinking about for our ambassador program, how can we continue to empower our ambassadors to grow within the community and on an individual basis, to have them have the opportunity to connect with other like-minded individuals, work on skills that they think are valuable, and contribute to like the open discussion and forum that we have within like the Say Labs, the ambassador team, the moderators, and just the community as a whole.
All right, thank you. Now let me ask, and like I said from the beginning, this is going to be based off of, should I say, feedback from community and especially from users, developers, and all of that. So, in in terms of scalability, right? It's a very very crucial concern in, of course, the blockchain space, right? How would you say has been able to approach scalability? And this is based on the feedback that you have gotten so far during test nets and now that you have launched your mainnet. When you look at the feedback, how would you say you've been able to approach the issue of scalability on the Stay network?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think almost like the best way of answering this and like to give the most insightful information is to actually speak about how SEI was started in the first place, because it really does focus a lot on the scalability of existing infrastructures and how SEI wanted to really focus our long-term vision. SEI started. It dates back to 2021 when our co-founders Jay and Jeff started their journey in creating like a decentralized exchange. They had a vision of essentially creating a decentralized version of Robinhood or Binance. And, this comes from a lot of their experience, Jay having worked in Robinhood, being an early member and experiencing kind of all of the different ups and downs with like the GameStop saga, and then also having Jeff come from a more traditional finance sector. They kind of understood the financial institutions and trading institutions very well. And when they decided to build a decentralized exchange, they started to encounter these significant scalability issues that are inherent in a lot of the existing blockchain infrastructure. And this is what like spurred the realization for them to seek a more optimized solution in terms of infrastructure. The vision kind of like organically transformed into the creation of SEI, which is an open source general purpose layer one blockchain. SEI is optimized for trading and the exchange of a wide array of different digital assets. And SEI really aims to be, offer the best possible infrastructure, combining the benefits of decentralization with a user experience that rivals that of Web2 applications. It all comes down to user experience and then kind of working backwards from there on providing the best possible infrastructure for our developers to build awesome applications and, consumer facing applications that have trading experiences that are similar to that when you open like a Fidelity account or a Robinhood account.
Okay. Now let us talk about security and then NFTs. Now, the reason why I want us to talk about NFTs briefly, we'll come back to security, is the fact that NFTs have been the rave, for a while. And I keep telling people that I honestly thought that after the initial wave in 2021, that probably NFTs would have died up, but they seem to not be going anywhere. So they have gained immense, popularity recently. So how does SEI support the creation, trading, and management of NFTs? And also, what differentiates your SEI, in the competitive NFT marketplace?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. I think it gives an opportunity to clear up some of some of the confusion that people have with SEI, because when we say SEI is optimized for trading and the exchange of digital assets, like, and thinking about why would we optimize just for that use case, it's really that we believe that the exchange of digital assets is the most fundamental use case for blockchain and crypto technology. So most people, when they hear trading, they think of just DeFi. But when you look across all of the different pillars of Web3 and, assess like the NFT and gaming ecosystems, you also see that the trading function is at the core of, what the users are doing. Like the trading function is essential to the overall user experience. And as we've seen, in Web2 and in Web3, the user experience is what determines like which platforms and applications thrive. With that being said, by optimizing for this use case, we've ensured that SEI can deliver a superior performance for these core functions coming through like speed, throughput, reliability, front running. These are all vital functions for NFT ecosystems. And with that being said, you now see projects like Pallet Exchange, WeBump, Mizu, Degora. They're all leveraging what SEI has to offer to provide, really strong user experiences. And on top of this, I think it's really important to also to speak about like the community hubs that are forming within the NFT ecosystems, because at the end of the day, NFT projects are, they live and die by their communities. So it's all about thinking about, first offering infrastructure where, mint experiences, launch pads, and marketplaces can really thrive and be, kind of the best performing applications across all of the different ecosystems in Web3. But then also thinking about from the growth perspective, like from a SEI Labs growth member, like how can we continue to provide community initiatives, community campaigns, resources, and support for the individual communities within our NFT community to thrive. I think that's one thing that really differentiates a lot of the most successful and the least successful NFT ecosystems across our space is that who can really focus on, the end goal of providing for your community, ensuring that they have everything that they need to really thrive.
All right. Thank you for answering that. Now, you describe, say, as being optimized for trading, right? And the exchange of digital assets. Why optimize for just that use case?
Yeah, great question. I think I alluded a little bit to it before, but it comes down to like the belief that the exchange of digital assets is the most fundamental use case for crypto. So let me elaborate a little bit on this. When you look across all of Web3, you see, the most popular decentralized applications, they all derive their activity and the majority of their volume from trading. We have direct examples of this, like Uniswap and like Magic, even let's say, which are clearly functioning on the exchange of some sort of digital asset. In the NFT space, it's the exchange of these digital collectibles. But when you look across, maybe some less obvious examples, like let's say MetaMask or Aave, which might not like be at first, like when you first think of these applications, you might not think of them as trading applications, but think, why does someone set up a MetaMask wallet in the first place? It's to eventually go and trade some tokens on Uniswap or go to a professional exchange like GMX. So it all comes down to this core function, and we believe like the Say Labs approach is one that really attracted to me, like in the first place before I even joined the team. It's kind of a no fluff approach. It's thinking about how do we get to the root cause of a lot of the problems holding back a lot of the existing infrastructure, and that's holding back a lot of the developers from building, kick-ass decentralized applications. Really focusing on user experience, trying to optimize, for that user experience, addressing a lot of the key issues that have been holding back existing infrastructures in the past.
All right. Um, Now let's move on. Um, where do you see trading heading towards, like over the next few years, especially for say?
Yeah, another great question. So, when I think about it from like, a personal perspective, I really think that we'll continue to see the growth of Web3 as a whole, and we'll see new use cases come in to leverage, blockchain technology to essentially improve their user experiences. When you look across Web2, all the traditional, applications, technology applications, trading applications, they all pretty much live and die by their user experience. And I think what some of them are starting to realize now is that blockchain technology actually has a lot to offer to essentially enhance the user experience, enhance the participation flow, and it's kind of like an increased proliferation of digital assets, and that the need to exchange these digital assets is only going to continue to grow. We also see like regulatory pressure from centralized exchanges is likely to further drive volume and activity on chain. So really, like as these trends continue, same say aims to be a front, leader in the evolution, providing a robust infrastructure capable of meeting the demands of the next generation of on-chain trading. A really good example of this that I can pull from the Say ecosystem is actually Coded Estate, which is almost like it's bringing short-term and like Airbnb type rentals on chain, incorporating real world assets, which is a massive industry in its own, and starting to leverage a lot of on chain, like trustless, all the amazing things that all of us here, know, but not many people in Web2 kind of fully understand the impact and the value that it can bring when coming to user experience. Thinking about also like different sectors that can really benefit from it, like the entire real estate sector, even like the exchange of like Medicare and health information. Like there's so many different use cases that will continue to start to leverage blockchain technology, and like Say understands this, and that's like while we really focus on addressing a lot of like the current needs within the Web3 ecosystem, we're also very forward looking and thinking about like if there's going to be an onboarding of another billion users into crypto, like how do we ensure that these applications will be able to process transactions efficiently, and that a single transaction won't cost $100, because we all know that's not feasible. Thinking about like what do we have to put in place in terms of the tech stack to be able to scale with kind of like the kind of proliferation and evolution of modern trading as it comes on chain.
All right, thank you for answering that. So, um, what happens? I mean, what happens if when you're successful? I don't want to use the word if because this is obviously a long-term project, and there is definitely uh, you're definitely working towards achieving all of the goals that you have set for developing this project, right? So what happens when you're successful? Like, what is the vision for say?
Definitely. Personally love this question. So like our vision for Say is really to establish it as a default layer one platform for all on-chain trading. In success, any trading application, be it a DeFi decentralized exchange, an NFT marketplace, or a gaming platform, will operate better on Say versus any other layer one that you can find. And that's thanks to a lot of the specific optimizations that our developer team has made to our tech stack. If Say is successful, the trade-off between being decentralized will no longer exist, and decentralized applications, trading applications, will be able to operate nearly exactly like Web2 products, but by incorporating kind of a lot of like the benefits of decentralized and trustless kind of like activity that we have within our space.
All right. Um, Now, besides DeFi, right? Are there other types of apps, in the Say ecosystem? And if so, I want to believe that they are. Could you tell us a bit about these other apps?
Yeah, definitely. While we have like a lot of amazing and very dedicated teams building within our DeFi ecosystem, I'm also like equally excited about our gaming and NFT ecosystems. Currently, our gaming ecosystem is like, in my eyes, like blowing up. There's so much opportunities. Just perfectly, Tatami had just joined this space. They have really blown me away with how they have continued to bring kind of like amazing excitement and developments to our gaming ecosystem. Tatami is a gaming publisher. They actually just released their newest game called Double Jump. I played it and we live streamed last week. It was an extremely fun experience. It's one of the best games that I've played, not just in Web3, but in Web2. And I've played a lot of games in my past. And yeah, like it's just like our gaming ecosystem really feels like it's laying the foundation for a lot of different developers, community members, and projects to come in and thrive. So super excited about the gaming ecosystem, and the same goes to the NFT ecosystem. Really focusing there on like the community hubs that are starting to form, and I think it's super important when it comes to NFT ecosystems to ensure that communities have like all of the resources and support they need to thrive. Like you really live and die by your communities, and like overall, like the NFT ecosystem is really only as strong as the people that are contributing to it. So from like the Say Labs perspective, it's all about like actively connecting with different key stakeholders within the NFT ecosystem, whether it's the project founders, community members, KOLs, trying to really think about how we can put in the best campaigns, initiatives, resources to ensure that everyone has what they need to thrive and grow. When the time comes for their specific project or community.
Amazing. But can I ask though, like, why did you decide to build Say, as a layer one and not a layer two? Now, I asked this because I think that the space is kind of saturated with a lot of layer twos, and honestly, I think I recently started to see some layer threes and all of that. But why did you choose to build, say, as a layer one?
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good question. There is a lot of buzz around like layer twos, and when thinking about like why Say decided to build as a layer one and a layer two, and I think it came down to like our leadership team and our developer team thinking that um, to build Say as a layer one, it really allows us to effectively address kind of the unique requirements of trading applications, like concerning speed, throughput, reliability, and front running. So, unlike layer two solutions, which are built on top of existing networks, of course, like a dedicated layer one blockchain provides us the freedom to construct an optimized infrastructure from trading from the ground up. This allows SEIs to address a lot of the root causes, the root issues holding back existing infrastructure when it comes to throughput and scalability. So we really didn't want to be restricted by any existing infrastructure and wanted to continue to, kind of optimize our tech stack and address a lot of the most important things, kind of like holding back developers from building awesome applications, awesome consumer facing applications, and awesome trading experiences overall.
All right. Um, Thank you for answering that. Now, let me ask, how do you think about the design decisions, and trade-offs as you were building Say? Now, I usually don't like to make comparisons, when talking with a project, try to make comparisons with other projects out there. But I will ask, based on designs and trade-offs, building Say, how does it compare to other layer ones like Solana, Aptos, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Great question, by the way. When building Say, we really optimized for the user experience of trading applications, kind of ensuring that the trading can be done quickly, efficiently, and most importantly, securely. Kind of like given a lot of the unique requirements of trading applications, we really had to strike a balance between scalability, decentralization, and capital efficiency to overcome, the exchange trilemma that exists within our space. The core design decisions were all centered around the belief that the trading of digital assets is the most fundamental use case, and hence the primary focus there was to create an infrastructure that could support high speed and high volume trading, and like I alluded to in the past, be able to continue to support that as the industry continues to grow and as network activity skyrockets. We also really much concentrated on like introducing front running prevention and and automatic ordering bundling to essentially improve the throughput and overall user experience. We really assessed a lot of the existing infrastructure and thought like what is currently holding them back, getting to those root causes, and then kind of building backwards. I think I mentioned it before in the call, but like one of our mantras at Say Labs is thinking about the user experience first, and then working backwards to make the best design decisions for our technology architecture.
All right. Now, since you are in charge of marketing, right, and growth, I would like to ask, uh, this question. How do I begin? Okay. Um, when it comes to adoption, right? A lot of projects tend to face challenges when it comes to user adoption, mass adoption. Now, I believe that a good blockchain or good network sells itself, honestly. As long as it's good, everybody wants to use it. Once one person uses it, it starts to trend, on maybe low cost of transaction, speed of transaction, and all of that, right? But usually one of the main challenges is adoption, and getting developers to engage, so how does say network plan to attract, and nurture a thriving developer and user community? Now, again, I'm asking this question because of your position. So how does say network plan to attract and nurture a thriving developer and user community?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to like thinking about, putting ourselves in the shoes of developers, and this is what we do across like all different kind of stakeholders that are participating within our ecosystem. Like, so for me, I like to put myself in the shoes of community members, of KOLs, of marketing and growth leads at our ecosystem projects to see how we can further enable and empower them. And this is the same thing for our developer team, thinking about how can we make Say like the best place to build your trading application, your decentralized application. So it comes down to a lot of like developer support and incorporating like things like hackathons, initiatives, campaigns that are really geared towards empowering developers from all different ecosystems to come and check out Say. And it's also like building our infrastructure to optimize for a lot of the things that developers are looking for. it kind of all comes down to making developers' lives easier while also ensuring that we can like distribute their protocols. At the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to is getting as many users as possible to check out the amazing decentralized applications that they're building. And we believe, that if we can offer our developers the opportunity to really build amazing user experiences and training experiences for whatever their use case is, then that's gonna, drastically increase their chances of reaching like mass scale adoption and while still thinking about like all of the different things that come into like a developer experience, coming to onboarding into a new ecosystem, and like cool things like an AI hackathon and incubator, which like really allows people to explore like different avenues within blockchain and crypto. I think like one of the cool things that is emerging amongst our ecosystem is like this forward-looking approach to things. So thinking about like real-world assets and bringing them on chain is something that's like top of mind. And now we have like coded estate coming in, and we're thinking about like, okay, like this is something new, and keeping like a close ear and like eye on like all of the stuff that's going on to ensure that we can continue to provide developers across different interests, across different use cases, all that they need to thrive.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Now, speaking of mass scale adoption, right? Um, I'm excited to get more into some of the growth initiatives that you might have coming up. Like, what are some of the apps that you are excited for that are coming to say? What are some of the strategies that are meant to drive growth? That you are working on and that users should anticipate.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of my favorite questions to chat about, like, some of my like favorite applications, and it's sometimes hard because there's so many, so it's hard to choose just a few. Surveying kind of like the different ecosystems building on say like the DeFi, NFTs and gaming. I can go over like some of my like I think like some of the ones that are most exciting, I would say. At first, like when it comes to DeFi, this is kind of like overall. I like to start off with like the wallets because like there's a lot of new people entering the say ecosystem and community, and like the first step is setting up a wallet. So Fin Wallet and Compass Wallet are both like the same native like leading wallets, and their user experiences is like amazing. They really have everything that you like would need within a say within a wallet and more. Like a lot of the things that you enjoy from like wallets like MetaMask and Phantom, but like even incorporating some other cool stuff like notifications, NFT galleries, like literally anything that you can want in a wallet, like they have it. And I'm not just saying that, like you can go check it out yourself. Their user experiences are amazing. So those are like the first steps is like setting up your wallet so you can start getting some tokens, start getting some NFTs within say. And then in the DeFi front, I always like to highlight Lavana and Fusio. I see Fusio is actually here in the audience right now. I'll touch upon Fusio a little bit. So like when I first joined Say Labs, and Fusio was actually already live on Say's incentivized testnet, and I was blown away by their UI. Fusio is like bringing a very cool twist to like traditional DeFi, bringing kind of a gamified approach. Is a predictions market where you can very like in an interactive experience and an engaging experience, kind of bet and predict on like where you think some of the most like popular tokens will head in terms of like going up or down. I was just like super impressed with how intuitive the whole experience was. It was my first time ever like just like checking out their website. I didn't really even read the docs to that point, and it was super easy to understand, super interactive. I didn't want to leave the web page and like was just like kept on exploring all the different like pages and features that they have. So I definitely recommend everyone to go check them out. Lavana is also just like like with Lavana is a GMX perpetual exchange, like PMX style perpetual exchange on Say, and it's one of like I think one of the most like proven and popular use cases within DeFi right now. Their product is amazing. Their team is super dedicated. I always have calls with their team. Really excited for their future and a lot of the stuff that they're incorporating into their trading experience. And then in the NFT front, we have Palette, Mizu, and Dagora, which are like the three native marketplaces and launchpads. Palette actually just launched. Their team is super dedicated to really creating a community hub for all of our different projects. Like I really appreciate and love, I've been an NFT trader for like the longest of times. And like, I think I mentioned this already a few times in the call, like really understand the importance of like supporting your community and like empowering them to do awesome stuff. And I really think like across the entire NFT ecosystem, especially with Palette, like we see like that community hub and foundation starting to form. We're still in the early days, but it's been really cool to continue to see like creators, traders, and developers like come together and get excited about building cool stuff together. Get excited about like rallying behind like a common cause, and I think that's what NFTs are all about. So I'm really excited about the potential for a lot of the leading projects within our NFT ecosystem. And then lastly, we have gaming. I think I touched already a little bit about Tatami, but like Tatami is like I think the heart and core of the SEI gaming ecosystem. They've already published two amazing games. I touched upon Double Jump, which is like a Fallout guys, which also incorporates like cool like NFT trades. I mean, the gaming experience is like amazing, and I think it's a really good example, honestly, of like what's to come with like more Web2 games, leveraging stuff like NFTs and other like blockchain primitives to enhance like the gaming experience and like the multiplayer experience. We were streaming, like playing with like a bunch of friends, and it was like it just like felt so like true to like what gaming is all about, like interacting with people online. It really feels like they're kind of ahead of like where the entire gaming industry is heading in terms of like really like the interconnectivity of gamers, and also just like the overall functionality of what games can offer. So like super excited about their about the games that are coming out of Tatami and just like the whole gaming ecosystem overall.
Wow. Okay. Very, very enlightening. Thank you for answering that in really interesting details. Um, Now, I think that I would like to ask, you mentioned something about having some ambassador program, or something. I know that you mentioned it. So I want to ask, when you look at that program, and how it's been running, when you look at it, uh, could you maybe just tell us more about it, honestly? Because I don't think that most people, some people, I don't want to say most people, some people know what it is about. And I feel like some people might be interested in jumping on it. So could you tell us about it? And so far, when you look at the impact on the project, on the project so far, would you say it has been impactful? Would you say it has had the expected impact that you foresaw before launching that ambassador program?
Yeah, I mean, the ambassador program is something that I think like I'm most proud of when it comes to like the growth initiatives that we've put out in the past. I'm not sure if I mentioned this already on the call, but the ambassador program has been built from the ground up, and like I've been a part of a lot of different ecosystems. I've worked on, as I said in my intro, I've worked on early stage. Like marketing and growth teams across, Solana, Arbitrum, BNB Chain, and have seen, the impact that a strong ambassador program can have in empowering community members to really do awesome stuff. And I think that's what it's all about. Empowering our ambassadors, both like on an individual basis and as a group, to grow. Thinking about like what are the like I guess like what's a structure that we can provide our ambassadors with so that they can continue to progress, continue to grow from a personal standpoint, and like eventually hopefully like build upon skills that they think are valuable for them, connect with individuals that think can further enable their growth within the broader Web3 ecosystem. Like I've seen community members join the ambassador program and then go on to get part-time or full-time job opportunities within our ecosystem project. And this is like really what it's all about when it comes to decentralized applications. The decentralized nature of what we do is like being able to connect with people from around the world to grow together, and then meet new builders within the space, have job opportunities. It's literally how I got started in my crypto career. And it's like I think kind of one of the most beautiful things about all the stuff that we do is that the potential for people to grow, and not be restricted by any like central authorities. And we do have a lot of exciting plans to continue to enhance our ambassador program. It's definitely one of the areas where I try to kind of like collect and incorporate as much feedback as possible from our community members, because it's all about the community members at the end of the day, the ambassadors. Thinking about like what are some of the initiatives they think that would be most helpful to them, like especially like some of our leaders within our community, like Bojack, who's here today. Like thinking about like how can we set up a framework that's like can be repeated. How can we, our ambassador program has grown to thousands of people. So sometimes it can be hard to really focus on like the individuals that are within the ambassador program. So thinking about setting like systems in place that, can, welcome in thousands of people while also making them feel recognized, acknowledged for what they do and for what they've contributed to our ecosystem.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I think I will ask maybe one or two more questions before we wrap up the the session. Um, now let me just ask for our listeners, people who are listening, who are listening to this space, what would you say is the best way to get involved with, say, and keep up, with the project?
Yeah, definitely. Amazing question. So there's several ways of getting involved with SEI. I think like the first step is definitely following the SEI official account and the SEI Foundation account. This is a great way to just stay updated with stuff happening within the network and also like different initiatives that are coming from the foundation. Next, like I always pitch to follow me. I'm like actively trying to be a spokesperson for all of the different people building within our ecosystem, whether it's our ecosystem projects, whether it's our KOLs, whether it's our community members. I'm always trying to highlight a lot of the amazing work that they do to ensure that they get exposure and to ensure that newcomers are, able to essentially learn about SEI and, get involved in the community, connect with different sailors. And then next, it's definitely to join our Discord. There's a lot of people in there. There's a lot of different kind of initiatives and opportunities within our Discord. It's a great place to like, connect with other people in the community, connect with people like Bojack, which are, literally there to help, help support you, help you grow within the SEI ecosystem, help connect you with maybe some of the ecosystem projects, or, help shed light on a lot of the exciting like community initiatives and campaigns that we have. With that being said, like we just spoke a little bit about the ambassador program and like the focus that it has on empowering people, empowering individuals to not just help grow the SEI ecosystem, but to grow their personal careers, to grow the skills that they think are valuable to them. The ambassador program is always like being enhanced and being tweaked to essentially incorporate feedback that we've received from the community. So like that's definitely like a great place to really contribute to the SEI community while also like contributing to yourself, like empowering yourself to grow and to strive to reach some of the goals that you have within the Web3 space.
Very well. Thank you for answering that. I think I kind of have covered all of the questions that we have, but if there is anything else that maybe you would like to say before we wrap up the session, anything at all, concerning the project or the community that you would like to put out there, or, please feel free. Feel free.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first off, Jenny, thank you so much. Thank you, crypto miners. Like, it's been an amazing Twitter space. It's a super exciting time for SEI. Like, having just launched our mainnet beta last week, like this is like I think the perfect time to really like get involved and like connect with other members in our community. There's you're still very early. So I think like with that being said, like a lot of exciting initiatives, a lot of exciting opportunities across our ecosystems, across DeFi, NFTs, gaming, to get involved, be early, and actively contribute to a lot of the amazing projects within our space. And yeah, I mean, like, thank you all for joining. Really excited for what the future has in store. Appreciate all of the questions from you, Jenny. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
All right. Thank you, Philip, so much for taking out the time to come chat with us. And for everyone who has joined the space, to hear about the SEI Network, thank you for sticking with us till the end. Now, I know this doesn't have a question session, but any questions that you might have whatsoever, you can hop into the community or Discord, Telegram, and drop your questions, and I'm sure you'll be attending to. And also make sure to follow SEI Network on Twitter, X, whichever one it's called now. And also follow Crypto Miners, right? So you can get to you should get the opportunity to talk with more interesting projects like SEI in the future. All right. So thank you once again, Philip, and thank you everyone for joining us in this session.